Hello everyone, and welcome to this installment of the Counselor's Corner. I'm Daniel Reed, and today we're going to be going over what is the FAFSA. Now, the FAFSA, because it is a federal document and because it is just a list of letters that don't really make any sense in terms of when you're looking at it, people can get a bit overwhelmed by it. But it's really not that complicated, and it's I promise you it's something that you can do. The FAFSA is, I like to look at the FAFSA as the key to the treasure chest. It opens the treasure chest of financial aid for you. If you don't have the key, you're not going to get the treasure. So if you don't fill out the FAFSA, you're not going to be eligible for the state or federal aid, which you could potentially acquire if you fill out this document. So having said that, I'm going to shrink a little bit, and we're going to start going over what precisely a FAFSA is and some other wild and woolly questions that you may have. The FAFSA is, well, let me shrink just a little bit more. The FAFSA is the free application for, if I can get my head out of the way, the free application for federal student aid. Now, you take the first letter of all of those, and you take out the middle F for 4, and you have the FAFSA. It is that simple. The thing I want you to keep in mind is the first letter and what it stands for. The first letter of this particular title is free. The free application for federal student aid. The first letter is F, which stands for free. You do not have to pay anyone to do this document for you. It is absolutely 100% free. There are websites out there who will attempt to that look like the federal website, and who will attempt to charge you in order to fill out the FAFSA and submit it for you. They say that they will review the FAFSA for you, and that you're guaranteed to be eligible, or to be, they don't use the word eligible, they're guaranteed to review it for the potential of your eligibility for 4 different types of financial aid. Well, if you remember, we talked about those 4 different types of financial aid in the prior video, and those are the bits that they're referring to. So they're not being dishonest, but they're not telling you the whole truth. So you can do this on your own, I promise you. And if you feel like you can't, there are a number of free workshops around the state, at least in West Virginia, at different times throughout the year, that you can attend either in person or virtually, and they will help you to fill this document out free of charge. So I've never met a single person who has not been able to complete this document if they want to fill it out. So having said that, so the FAFSA is in fact free. The free application for federal student aid. Now, in order to complete financial aid, you need to complete, or in order to get financial aid, I should say, you need to complete the FAFSA. It's that easy. Those grants that we talked about, those scholarships, those loans, the federal work study, in order to be eligible to receive those, you must fill out the FAFSA, as I said, including federal or state aid. Now, if you have a rich grandmother or a rich aunt who is going to pay for your education, I suppose you could consider that financial aid, but it's not federal or state aid. So therefore, in order to get that, you've got to fill out the FAFSA. When can you start working on the FAFSA? Well, every year, or October 1st. Now, that's the new rule. Now, if you're talking to some of your parents, or if you have a cousin or someone who went to school a few years back, they may say, oh no, you can't start filling that out until January the 1st, and you have to have your income taxes done before you can start filling that out. And that's not right. That's incorrect. It was right at one point in time. That was a correct statement a number of years back. But as of now, you use what they refer to, some clever folks came up with the word, the phrase using the prior year's tax returns. I don't know. That to me sounds more confusing than just simply saying for 2020 you use the 2018 tax returns. But nevertheless, So October the 1st, using the 2018 tax returns. Now, what do you need in order to start to fill out the FAFSA? First thing you need is your Social Security number. It's a federal document, and as such, you need your federal identifier that says that this is specifically you. You will need your federal income tax returns, or if you are a dependent, which if you're a high school student, many of you are, the majority of you are, the vast majority of you are, you will need your parents' federal income taxes as well, or income tax returns. As I said, they use the prior year. So for 2020, you would need the 2018 income tax returns. You would need the 2018 W-2s and other records of money that you earned. Now, there's a really nifty little application that they use these days that actually will pull your information directly into the FAFSA from your IRS, from your W-2, from your tax returns automatically, from what was submitted to the IRS. For some people, this doesn't work, and I don't know why. So having said that, you may have to fill in some things manually from your tax returns. If the data retrieval tool works for you, it will be very quick and simple. If it does not work for you, it's still not going to be hard, but it's just going to take a little bit more time. You will have to fill it out manually. You will need bank statements and records of investments. So if you have rental properties or royalties or things of that nature, you will need to have information about those ready and available in order to complete the document. You will need records of untaxed income, if applicable. And if you have untaxed income, you'll know what that is and you'll know what I'm referring to. If you don't have untaxed income, if you're not sure what that is, well, then you should probably ask someone about that. But chances are, if you don't know what it is, you probably don't have it. So just an easy rule of thumb. Not necessarily 100% accurate all the time, but nevertheless, well, you get the gist. So you will also need an FSA-ID to sign the document electronically, and we're going to go over that in a bit more detail in a few seconds. Basically, this is an alphanumeric sequence of letters. Well, it's a sequence of alphanumeric figures, letters and numbers, that specifically identifies you. So as you. So it serves as your signature on any electronic document for the purposes of filling out the FAFSA and completing the FAFSA. And you will also need a list of schools in which you are interested in attending, up to 10. And when you fill those out, it's important that you put those on your FAFSA, on your application, because what that does is it notifies the school that your information is out there for them to pull down, and it allows them to begin perhaps working on a financial aid package for you. So basically you're telling the schools, hey, I'm interested in you. What can you do for me? They will be able then to access your stuff once you do that. So where do you get an FSA-ID? There you go. That link. Excuse me. That link is, I'm going to post it in the description. It looks like this when you land on the website, and you just start creating it. And you'll fill out the information, and you want to keep this information super duper secret, and you do not want to let anyone know what it is, because as I said, it is your unique identifier. It acts as your signature. Where do you fill out the FAFSA? Good question. There you go. Another link. And again, these will be posted in the description, so you will have access to them. And that is what that particular website looks like. Pay attention to the actual address. What you don't want to do, there are a number of websites out there who will try to charge you to fill out the FAFSA for you. They'll say that, as I said, they'll review it, and that they'll guarantee the potential for you to be able to receive at least 4 different types of financial aid. Again, we went over those 4. That's just what the FAFSA is anyway. No one needs to review it in order for you to be considered for those. So don't buy that, and just be careful of the website. Make sure that your web page looks like this, and that it's that website, and you'll be fine. But again, don't pay anyone to do that for you. When do you need to have the FAFSA completed? Well, that's a good question as well. In West Virginia, the deadline is March the 1st. I would recommend that you have it done prior to March the 1st. And I always tell everyone to have it ready by Valentine's Day, because that gives you enough time to make sure that it gets done. You have a few weeks after that you don't have to worry about it. I used to say Valentine's Day or Super Bowl Sunday, but this year, football, social distancing, not sure when Super Bowl Sunday is going to be. Pretty sure Valentine's Day is still going to be February 14th, though. So, having said that, make sure that you have it done by Valentine's Day, and it's that simple. If you have questions, there are a number of people of workshops all over the state throughout the course of the year, at least in our state, and I'm sure every other state does something similar. So, if you have questions, make sure you ask it of the right people. I will tell you, I'm not one of those people. I'll get you pointed in the right direction, but there's a lot that's involved with financial aid questions, and I am not a financial aid expert, but I can point you to the people, at least the folks at my school. I will point you to the people who you do need to be in contact with. So, having said that, I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you on the flip side.